fellas are professional by everyone's standards, and they are going to do the best job they can.
See, the pit window is 45 to 65 minutes, 65 for the slower cars, 45 for the prototypes. So basically, McNish, if he runs to the first pit stop without problem, is going to win the series championship. Yes. But again, without problem, we thought they could run a half-hour practice session this morning without problem, and it wound up stuffed in the fence. So I'm sure he's got to be tense. Do we see the team car squirt out front and McNish lay back a little bit in the opening laps till he feels the thing out?
You know what? I doubt it. I think knowing Alan and knowing the team, they will tell him to go as hard as he comfortably can. And again, Alan's own self-drive will want to lead the race. If you're leading, it's the safest place that you can be. You can drive what's up ahead of you rather than having to maybe watch the back of a car, and if that car ahead of you makes a mistake, he might take you out too. So Alan's safest bet would be to jump into the lead to try and pull away just a little bit. The backup car also may play somewhat of a blocking position to try and keep David Brabham in the Panos from challenging Alan, take some of the pressure off.
You see the lights out atop the pace car, getting set to turn onto pit road. They're coming to the final corner before the start-finish line. The race of 1,000 years. The season finale for the American Le Mans Series on the street circuit in Adelaide, Australia. A huge crowd, estimated at better than 76,000, has turned out. It's been a spectacular event all week long, and now we're set to go racing and get the season finale underway. Here comes McNish and Bila down to the green flag, and we're green at Adelaide.
We are indeed, and look at McNish. He jived over this to drop off the back of his teammate's car. So you were right that I think the teammate got a great jump. And watch Alan in that car that looks like a crocodile.
Certainly looked like an orchestrated move there.
It was indeed. Alan carefully just took a look in the mirror there to see where David Brabham was, and both these drivers are so good. At this point, it's not something you really worry about as a driver. You've got somebody with immense ability that's around you. You can drive as fast as you can comfortably because you know that they're not going to make a stupid mistake that may take you out of the race.
Safely through the first couple of corners.
Something so unusual for street circuits. You'll notice that the cars are relatively smooth here. This track is so good, so exceptional in every single area. I have never seen anything like it.
Coming up now toward the long Brabham straightaway, named for Sir Jack Brabham, Australian three-time Formula One world champion.
And the width, once again, 4 lanes wide. Incredible safety here. Many opportunities for passing, lots of runoff areas. The design is really exceptional. They have taken something that has been used for city streets and really have transformed it into a wonderful racing facility.
Up now to the final corner.
This is the U-shaped hairpin leading on the front straight. They are down to about 42 miles an hour at that point. Very tight. Now they come blasting down this straight past us.
Call it the Victoria Park hairpin. This part of the course resides inside Victoria Park, what is called the East Parkland section of the city of Adelaide. Now to the Senna chicane. And cleanly through lap number 1. So Bila leads in the 78 Audi. Second is McNish in the 77 car, the crocodile painted machine, if you will.
Crocodile done Audi.
Yeah. Looking ahead, this is David Brabham in third in the Panos.
And watch how hard David has to fight the wheel. I mean, he really battles with this car and gives it his all, whereas the Audis all season long, we've watched how good they are over bumps. Here's a perfect example. Terrific amount of work. It just stabs the gearbox down. Keep in mind the sequential gearbox. You just pull it back. There he is, changing up. Pull it back. The spring loading takes it back to a neutral position for downshifting, push it forward.
Didn't downshift to head around that little hook onto the Brabham straight.
Now,
a lot of the cars will drop a gear, but he didn't.
That's right. One of the advantages of the 6-liter motor. Now, look at our telemetry on board here. 170 miles an hour. Heavy braking. Look at the deceleration. That is just as impressive as the acceleration. Giant brakes in these cars. They just grip and slow the car down so fast. If your mouth isn't closed, it just blows your tongue out.
Around to the final corner to complete another lap. Now, the leaders haven't gotten to the slower traffic yet, but it is a concern for these drivers on a street circuit with the barriers in close to the racing surface, where you catch the traffic and what happens when you get there.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's a serious problem on any circuit that we go to, but particularly on tracks like this where you have the walls and so many blind corners, and the series of corners are coming up to right here. They're sort of point and stab. In the big cars, they're in second gear all the way through this. You just briefly get under full throttle and then immediately back under hard braking. One more time, and just brief little shots of gas. When they come on the slower cars, particularly the GT class cars, it could be a major problem for them.
This is the view from behind McNish's head. See the jostling and the bouncing he takes. Now, this is a guy who didn't get out of bed yesterday. He spent all day yesterday flat on his back because of an aching back, trying to get rested and well enough to run the 25 laps he needs to here today to win the championship.
And it makes an interesting comparison, too, when we watch David Brabham inside the Panos, and he is getting violently thrown around back and forth.
So McNish running second behind his teammate Frank Biva in the opening laps of the race of 1,000 years at Adelaide for the American Le Mans Series. There's our leaderboard. We'll come back in a moment. You're watching the American Le Mans Series on NBC.